Today I am continuing my fascination with the amp simulations and different packages and all that kind of stuff. And as you've seen, probably some of the demos I've done, I have been trying to see if I could get kind of a change of pace a little bit. See if I could dial in some of the tones from some of my favorite different songs from the past and kind of unique sounds. I've done some AC/DC stuff, did a little bit of dime bagged. I used a few different types of amps on this, of course. Once again, I tried multiple different types of amps and packages. And once again, it seems going back to the whole THU Overloud just seemed to be really just the flexibility. So again, using the THU chop tones, Overloud stuff again, just so many options and choices to make. This here, I used a few different amps on this one. It was fun to really chase that tone because it was such a unique sound. As you know from that album, I read that James had been playing around, of course, different types of Marshalls, JCM 800s, different super leads as well, and then using, of course, using some of the Mesa gear. So what I have here is kind of a blend of a few different amps. Even this one here was a 73 super lead modded by Martin Golub, if I'm saying the name right. But so for this video here, I'm going to show you, as usual, kind of a little demo here of playing some of the different stuff. And then we'll go in and I'll show you my settings and stuff. And again, just kind of fun to see if I can chase that tone. Let me know what you think. Am I getting close? Am I way off? Is my ears not exactly what I'm thinking? Usually when I do the different types of demos and stuff and I'm demoing gear, I just kind of use my own stuff. Well, recently I'm chasing some of the tone here. I've been getting copyright strikes for my songs here, which I think is hysterical. I don't monetize my videos, and so I really don't care. They can copyright strike me all day long. I don't monetize, so have at it. Anyway, thanks for coming by. Thanks for always, the comments are great, and I really appreciate the conversations we've had. Thanks for all the great comments and well wishes. We'll go ahead and jump into it. Sorry I'm babbling on this one. Thanks for stopping by, and we'll go ahead and get into it. And as I mentioned before, as I pull in some of the stuff, as for some of the cleans here, I actually was using some of the Mark stuff for the intro. You can hear kind of as it starts in. Let me turn that up a little bit so you can hear. Actually was using some of the Mark stuff here with a little bit I didn't have any kind of the gain stuff turned on. I had a little bit. I was using turn it down so you can hear. Using a Greenback 4x12 for my amp on that one. For a lot of the stuff, a lot of the heavier stuff, a lot of the mids were kind of cut back a bit. This was, the version here that's a low gain Marigold, basically. Mark series here. No gain on that for the clean. Presence was up kind of high. Middle was kind of in the middle of the road, and then highs again were up there. A little bit here cuts in the EQ. Added some chorus on that. I used the Uni Vibrato, which kind of gives it a. I turn the speed down, but it kind of gives it a smooth, clean kind of sound. I played with this quite a bit. Please excuse me. And then no delay on that one. And then I used the spring reverb, which gave it kind of that deeper sound. I played with this as I mentioned, quite a bit to kind of get that clean that intro sound, which had a really unique sound. It was a little bit hard to dial in, to be honest with you. And then as we get into some of the heavier stuff here, let me switch over on what I was using for that. I looked at this, actually surprised. I was using more of the Rectos. This is called their modern Channel 3 version, which is the dual rectifier here, or maybe even their triple rectifier, I'm not sure, but one of the rectifiers here that I was using for more of it than I thought, and less of the Marshall than I thought can give it that sound. I did split the tracks down here. As you can see, I've got the rhythm 1, 2, 3, 4, so I quad tracked it 2 left, 2 right, and tried to keep it as true to the kind of series of James and Kirk's playing. So I had James playing some more of the rhythm, and of course Kirk playing more of the fills and the leads in it. But when they're playing the main kind of riff, they're both playing the same kind of thing. 4 guitars coming in heavy, playing it throughout the song. You can kind of hear this as it comes in here. So I've got is James, and then is Kirk, and then once we come in here, that's both 4 guitars playing the same thing. And then for some of the lead work here, I was once again, one of my favorites, I don't know if I've talked about this before, I love this they call it the slow, it's the Soldano packages that I use, and I've got a few different ones. You can kind of see over here that I've got a few of the different ones. I've got the 100, and if you guys if you ever check out the stuff, you'll see that they've got a lot of different Soldano stuff here. If you ever checked out Big Hairy Amps, Michael, the guy who has that channel there, which is very cool. If you haven't checked him out, check him out. Just great stuff, super knowledgeable. Learn a lot from that guy. He's like a history music maniac. It's incredible how much stuff he knows. But he's a big, he's got a lot of Soldano stuff, and he actually endorsed this, and I think a lot of the sounds are actually created from him. I friggin' love the Soldano stuff. I think it sounds really smooth. It's got this kind of fuzz to it that just, it bites different than a lot of the other type of simulations and amps for that matter. I really enjoy using it. I use it quite a bit on a lot of different stuff. I used it for my leads. I used it for a lot of the different fills and stuff in here. I'm going to take the rest of that lead here. And for that here, what I was using, so pull this open a little bit more here. Oh, I just lost it like an idiot. All right, hold on. I don't play this part. There we go. Okay. For this right here, let me try to stretch out a little bit so you can see a little bit more of what was in here. I used, of course, the Soldano. I used a little bit of which is their Tube Screamer, a little bit of the chorus pedal in here, a little bit of EQ. It's kind of flat though, to be honest. A little bit of delay. You can see the effect isn't turned up very much, but just enough to give it some. I used a bit more reverb, but still only about a quarter the way of the reverb here. For the amp, again, I went with the modern, which is basically the vintage 30. For the leads, verses, and the rhythm, I was using more of their traditional sound, which would be like a GT 75, which I believe, or maybe they used Heritage. I'm not 100% sure what they loaded their cabs with when they did this album. Probably switched it around, switched it up a bit, I imagine. But that was for my lead sounds and fills. I use a lot of the Soldano stuff. On guitars, I use kind of a mixture of a lot of different stuff. I used my Gibson Explorer for some of the heavier stuff. I've got thick gauge strings on there, like 60s on that. I used a lot of that. I also used some of my Jackson Dominion, which has a bit smoother of a sound. And then for a lot of the chunky stuff, I used my Jacksons with EMGs loaded on it, which was similar to what James and Kirk were using back in the day. So probably the closest sound there, and used that on the leads. I used my Jackson SL2Q with the EMGs loaded for the solos, just because it really kind of had a lot of bite, a lot of push, and kind of translated through. So I hope it sounds fairly similar. Bass, I use the, what did I use for bass? Let me kind of go over here and take a look here. I honestly don't remember. I double tracked the bass here. It looks like, once again, the Soldano, I can never say that name, Soldano, again, but used it more as a little bit more clean. You can see you got to drive up pretty high though, but I guess it wasn't that, a little bit of compressor on that one, and I guess I pushed it more than I thought I did. But this is the Slow 88 clean versus more of a gainy sound. And then I use the kind of 4x12 greenback and a little bit of the chorus that I had in here, and I probably used some reverb. Yep, a little bit of reverb as well, and dual tracked it for the bass. And so this is kind of one track on the bass I had, and then the other one was a little bit more mild to kind of get that heavier sound. I will say that this version here, of all the different ones I've done, I have also done another song that I'll be putting up here pretty soon. I did Dimebag Pantera's Cowboys from Hell, and I'll talk about that a little bit. But man, coming up with the tone on that one and playing was that was definitely a challenge. This was definitely up there as well. Trying to find the tone, playing was absolutely, it was a blast playing the song, but finding the tone was a bit of a challenge, and definitely tweaked a lot. But it was fun. So that's about it. I appreciate you stopping by. I appreciate the comments and discussions. If you have any comments or questions about anything, or if you found some different types of anything different when you're kind of playing, or you've dialed in different tones, I'd love to hear them and talk about it with you. That's about it. Again, I hope you have a wonderful Christmas, a happy holiday, and I will look forward to seeing you in 2021. Thanks again for coming by. Appreciate it. Talk to you later.